Hey.
Action morning minutes with Michael Burgio and Mark Novak. This morning we're going to be talking about, is my agent a bullhead? Basically for how he dresses. What's our view on how a real estate agent should dress? What's your view? And yeah, that's about it really. Or we're talking about our opinions.
We'd love to interact with the audience this morning as well. If the iPad's there for you if you want to use it, Michael, this morning.
We'd love to interact now as well.
Interact with you guys. You know what? I guess
Good morning, Andrew.
Hey, Andrew, I guess it's the age-old question of like, isn't it inside that matters? Doesn't it matter? Like, you shouldn't really judge a person from how they dress on the outside, and it's really on the inside of what matters of your real estate agent that counts. But what do you reckon the but is?
But we are a professional. We are basic, like for the quantity, like for the lump sum money we're highly paid for a transaction when you look at it.
Yep.
Right from the outside in, like, and what I mean by that is from a very outside in, like for some deals you're getting paid 10, 20, 100, 200K, just regardless of how much work's involved, the quality, the rare of it. If you're getting paid 30, 50 grand for a deal or a service, that's paid more than some surgeons. You paid more than some lawyers, accountants. Like 30K for a service up to 50 grand. It's big money. So, so then you look at that high level professionalism. Should you be wearing basically a suit and tie when you're dealing with your clients? What's I think
Steve Jobs.
That's the question, really.
Steve Jobs broke the mold a little bit, where it was corporate America and everyone wore a suit and tie to work, and then Steve Jobs came along in a black turtleneck, a black t-shirt, and maybe even a turtleneck, and jeans. Didn't really care about that stuff and said, look, we're just focusing on what we do, which is computing. It's an aspect of it. The other aspect of it is, and I love Walt Disney's got a famous term that he used to do. He used to say, I'm casting, you can be anyone you want to be. You can cast for any act you want to act for. And when you come out and he's sitting and you go on stage and he's sitting in the crowd judging you, he's saying you can act any act, and that's life. Do you know what I mean? So when you come out of school, you can do it depending on how you act is depending on who you want to be, is depending on how others are going to perceive you. And you could put on any act that you like. And people will start to believe it when you start actually coming through with the goods, i.e. a degree. So you say, look, I really want to be a doctor. Suddenly you take the position of the act of educating yourself in a doctorate. Whether you get to the end or not of that act is another thing. And taking that back to our role and as a real estate agent, an agent dressing like bullheads, I think it goes back to that. How do you want to, if you choose to act as a real estate agent and you want to have put on the best possible act, like Walt Disney, like I just mentioned, casting, I think part of that is being well groomed and well dressed. It's not the be all end all. It doesn't mean you're intelligent, but at least it means you've put a foot in the right direction. Because sometimes I'm seeing real estate agents, dress, and it's just like, man, are you seriously a real estate agent, or you're going to a nightclub? Do you know what I mean? And you think, and it's quite hard because you've got to dress as a professional for a very diverse market, and depending on where you are in Sydney or Australia is also probably changes as well. Like if I'm a rural real estate agent, I'm going to wear my Kubra hat, And if I'm a Northern Beaches if I'm a Queensland real estate agent, and these guys are known to get around in shorts, African safari style.
And I think is like, I've always been, I think we've always, well, I've always worn the suit and tie, but like just a full suit and tie. I think my view on it is, yeah, as you said, you want to basically I don't want to get the correct wording as well, but I get the other angle as well. Like if you're going, because there's that sort of ethos going, well, if you're going into somebody's home at 6 o'clock at night or whenever it is on a Saturday afternoon and they're casually dressed, you want to make them feel more comfortable by being casually dressed or in that environment, rather than going into someone's home wearing a full suit. Yeah, dressed to match rather than going into somebody's home in the full suit and tie. But I think you want to have that point of difference and have that professionalism that it's work. I'm putting myself, I don't know, where is it?
Having a clean car, having a clean suit, and talking about dress to match. It's not just particularly articles of clothes that one's wearing. It can be the cleanliness and how the agent wears them. For instance, it's no good having a beautiful pair of shoes that are disgusting and are worn out. And I've seen real estate agents with holes in their shoes, and it's like, sort of, I think and that doesn't cost money. Do you know what I mean? To get your shoes resold, it's not an expensive process, but it just shows lackluster, like lack of if you can't look after yourself, how are you going to look after me?
The biggest one, I think, as well, from a salesperson perspective, I won't lose business. I doubt I won't lose business for being overdressed. I wouldn't even call it overdressed, but let's say overdressed and well-dressed compared to going into somebody's home or place of business to sell their largest asset dressed in a casual tee. Like, I'm more likely to lose business because I'm wearing chinos and a t-shirt with a sports coat compared to a full suit and tie. So I just wouldn't take that risk. I don't care if it makes me feel better because I don't have to iron a shirt or find cufflinks or find a tie. That's the other thing, is it fucking laziness. Like wearing a suit, cufflinks, pocket square, matching tie, matching shirt, ironing a shirt, steaming your suit jacket, finding the socks. Like, is it laziness people are wearing? Because a casual tee slapped over with chinos, like that's pretty cruisy with invisible socks and a casual shoes. Like that's a lot easier to wear than what we do every morning, 7 days a week, especially coming into summer. Is it laziness rather than professionalism? Why people are wearing that?
Is it discipline?
Discipline.
Is it discipline? Is it laziness? Is it, it's one of those things where I'd like to, and again, I'll go back to that quote with Walt Disney. You can act any act you want to act in life when you start at the age of 17. Choose your act and get up and do the best possible act on stage. The better act you put on stage, the more you'll get out of your career and out of that act. You put on a shit act. Huh?
Yeah, you love a shit act. What were you going to say?
Yeah, but you put on a shit act, you're going to get the results from that. You put on a wonderful act, you're going to get the results from that. And I think as part of that act, if you decide to act as a doctor, you decide to act as an electrician, if you decide to act as whatever you decide to act as, if you can put on a better act, you will get rewarded more. So, if it comes to me being an electrician, I know that I would have, as a company, we would have beautiful polo black shirts, happen to be black. We would all have the same shorts. We would probably all have the same socks and the same shoes as part of our uniform. But, we're not going to be dressing up in suits, but we're going to be immaculately well dressed, groomed, and that appears to the clients when the junior walks into the house, or when the apprentice walks into the house, or when the boss walks into the house. They're all dressed equally, and they all look highly organized and highly professional.
I definitely love the uniform. So Domino's do it, Macca's do it. It's just a mindset. When you're in that uniform, you know what you're doing. I love that. I love the uniform mindset and the discipline. Even to an extent, when I was doing the Whipped Warrior, the fight camp for the last 6 months, I had basically my own shirts for that. And it was the same shirt every morning. Mindset, you wake up, you put that on. I had 20 of them. Or maybe even more. I had 20 of the gym shirts and the rash guards, because it was that mindset and discipline, that repetition, that I just knew what I was doing over and over again, just like at school. You had a school uniform. I like that. You go to work at the same time, you leave work at the same time, you train at the same time. So, and you wear the same thing. I think I like that mindset. It's worked well for me, that clarity.
And there's always exceptions to the rule. It's not the be all end all that if your agent isn't dressed well, he's a mug. But generally, I think your odds are better if they respect themselves. They're going to respect you as they respect themselves. If they don't respect themselves, it's an average rule.
Yeah, and you can dress well without being a flashy dick as well. Like, we're not saying you got to be that with having your Gucci belt on the outside, or you can be well dressed but not flashy as well. So you don't, because I think there's a certain extent where, like, you want to be showing your success, because let's face it, it's that old saying, it's probably the excuse why every agent buys a nice car. If you pull out the front of a client's house in a blown up 1994 Hyundai XL, and then you pull up in a Mercedes, like, who do you think they're going to think is the better agent? But there is that balance between going too far with your clothing, your shoes as well, and being too flashy. That they don't feel any type of rapport, or they just think you're a bit of a dick. So I think there is a fine line being too overdressed and that persona, and too under. I want to hire a professional. I'm paying you 50 grand, put on a shirt, sort of thing.
And there's a saying, there's a famous Chinese saying, perception is the art of war.
Yes.
Perception is the art of war. So, like it or not, we're managing perception in business. Do you know what I mean? Like disregard it or not, and I understand that the wank's just too much. People just run the other way. But at the same time, the lack like sloppiness is equally too much. And it's a balance that it's hard for one to find. Do you know what I mean? But definitely, if you can, if a person, when they're dressing, and that's shoes and that's tie and that shirt, it's definitely very, very important. Is there something I do with work? Is I always wear a white shirt, and the reason where I wear a white shirt, it just removes one more thing I have to consider on a daily basis. Because every time I change up my shirt color, or every time I change up my shirt, stripes, no stripes, squares, whatever, that then makes my decisions harder with my suit, and it makes my decisions harder with my tie. So
once again, that was Steve Jobs, wasn't it?
That's exactly what Steve Jobs did. So explain that?
So Steve Jobs wore the same thing every day, and his philosophy, obviously, had washed it in multiple versions of the same shirt. But basically, his philosophy was, there's a million decisions in a day, and I want to eliminate all the little ones or the non-important ones, and deciding what to wear or basically color match was a non-important decision. So he wore the same thing every day to eliminate that decision. So he wore a black shirt, I think it was a black shirt and jeans every day, and didn't change it up. And Mark, you're very similar, don't you? You've got the same, I think, 2 suits, different,
it's a bit
multiple versions, but the same.
I don't even know if I can tell everyone. That's embarrassing.
Yeah, you have to share it. What do you have on the inside pocket?
So on all of my suits, I've got 16 suits. Sorry, what is it? 14? No, 12. I've got 12 suits. 6 of them are black and 6 of them are navy. And then embroidered on the inside of, so I have my 6 navy all have on the inside pocket Mark Novak, and they go up from Monday to Saturday. So one says Mark Novak Monday, the next suit says Mark Novak Tuesday, the next suit says Mark Novak Wednesday. Then I have an alternate set of suits in black and alternate days. So what I do is I keep my suits. I wear navy black, navy black, navy black, navy black 6 days a week, and then all I have to do is look inside my thing to know if I've got the right day on. And then I've got a navy black,
it's a small
6
thing
sets spare in the wardrobe. So then what I do is I send them off for cleaning. When I'm on one series of suits, the other series of suits go off for cleaning. And I'm on Monday, I'm on navy black, navy black, navy black, navy black, navy black, navy black. And then I bring out the fresh set, and then that current set goes and gets cleaned. So if you actually ask to see the inside of my suit on a Wednesday, it will say Mark Novak Wednesday on my jacket.
Yeah, it's the little things. I don't go to that extent. I don't mind the little decision every morning what to colour my tweet and put stuff in. I sort of enjoy that. I
think I've got issues, dude. I think I've crossed the line on this.
Just a little, but that's okay. Whatever makes you happy, you're not hurting anybody. That's the reality. So so just to sort of close off, I would always sway on the professionalism side, but whatever works for you, whatever works for your area. I just find Northern Beaches, it's a pretty big mix of, yes, you've got your very casual sort of clientele, but you've also, it's a very, we're pretty close to the city. A lot of people work in the city, and it's quite an affluent area. I don't know. I think suit and tie is important. I like to wear it, and then that's probably the only thing that really matters. Really, whatever makes you happy, and you're not hurting anybody, but
makes you happy, doesn't hurt anyone. And you know what? For us, it works. So for anyone who doesn't know what we wear, so we basically wear suits, black shoes, normally. You sometimes wear navy, and wear tan. We wear shirt, like button shirt, French cuffs, cufflinks, jackets, and we have our tie on during business, pretty much when we're at work, pretty much always. Now, wrong or right, I guess if you translate that back to our business, paying our bills, being profitable, it works. So we sort of don't question it. We continue it. We respect it. Yeah,
I enjoy it. Simple. It's dressed for war, work. Saturday's real estate, the hustle.
Perception's the art of war. Geez, interesting conversation. Everyone's got their own little twist on it.
Yes, thanks for the comments. Hey, Gio, Andrew. I'll speak to you soon as well, Andrew. Todd, as always. So, we'll be back, I think, on Monday, or maybe slight change, Mark. Yep, we'll have something on Monday. All righty, guys, we'll enjoy your Saturday, and we'll see you Monday. That's a take. Oh, shit, where's that? Yep, then you got the face. Thank you.
The last weekend before Christmas.
Yeah, let's rip in. All righty, thank you.
See ya. See you guys. Bye-bye.